That was a really fun song to do a lesson on. It is Friday the 16th of July, on the road to Portland very soon. But I thought I'd take a quick minute and let you know some of the things that went on this week. And man, that song Punky's Dilemma, it is, I wonder, let's see if we can make up an instrumental version of it. Second verse. Anyway, okay. I gotta not start these projects. I gotta tell you what, there's a couple things that went on this week. Oh, and where am I gonna start? I told you last week I was working on a solo version of this. And, you know, I've played that song a bunch of times. This is, of course, Long, Long Time by Linda Ronstadt. And never really listened to her version, paying attention to what she did vocally, and then and until like a few days ago. And that changed my whole plan on what was going to happen there. I thought, oh man, I can get everything in there that the orchestra does. Come on, tuners. There we go. And make it just put a bunch more stuff in there. And then start playing the melody, which I always would play something like this. And when I go listen to it, it's like, that's not where she sang it. She did this. She didn't start the phrase on the note that you need for a C chord until she was on the D chord. Well, she wasn't on the D chord, and it was really a whole step higher. Anyway, in the interest of like trying to make it now as authentic as possible, it went from being a potential 5 in difficulty to a 10, maybe a 9. And so I got a few lines into it and I started thinking, this is dumb. Make it playable, you know? So I've revamped the whole Long, Long Time plan, and I'm now a little bit behind on it, but it'll be coming, and it'll be not as ridiculous as I was, as the rabbit hole I almost went down the other day. So, what else happened? Oh man, you never know. Like sometimes a song just sideswipes me. And I was here with a student the other day. And he wanted to work on a Jefferson Airplane song. And I says, "Oh, I know I have a couple of lessons up, and I'm sure I have White Rabbit, and I probably have Somebody to Love, and maybe a couple others." And so I look it up, and I did not have Somebody to Love. And I thought, "Oh my God, this has got to be simple. It's a 4-chord song." And so it interrupted the play too. And I decided I had to throw together a lesson on that, which turned out to be more complicated than I wanted. Because there's little transitions after every chorus, something different happens. Anyway, welcome to my world. I don't know if this thing will work. But both those lessons had something in common that an interesting question came up on the forum just today, I think, or yesterday. But yeah, really recently. About capos and retuning. And a really important thing when you put a capo on, aside from, so in Somebody to Love, we end up, it's really in the key of F sharp minor, but it's really easy to play if you capo to the second and play in E minor. If you probably haven't looked at the lesson yet, it hasn't been up too long. But it does go, the student I was working with who did ask a question about this was going into wanted to play a song in open E as like Little Martha, well-known song in open E. And I had we talked about the fact that to be in an E tuning, you have to tune 3 strings up. You have to make the A string a B and the D string an E and the G string a G sharp. And I said, I'm just not going to do that with my guitar. So I would always tune down to a D tuning, which is the same relative tuning because the strings have the same relationship. They basically would have a root on the 6th string, a 5th on the 5th string, another root on the 4th string, the 3rd on the 3rd string. What a coincidence. Another 5th on the 2nd string, and another root on the 1st string. It's just a matter of whether it's at the level of D or E. And if it's a D, all you got to do is put a capo on the 2nd fret, and it'll put you into E. But if you go to the so the first thing is, and I think I put this in the post, but if you haven't seen the post, the first thing is, if you're going to tune, like if I'm going to go into a D tuning, I'm going to get the 4 strings that have to go down, I'm going to get them close first. I'm going to kind of ballpark it and not worry about fine tuning them. Even if I just take this D, oh, what the heck? Let's demonstrate this. If I'm going to take my 6th string down to D, and everything else was just in tune there, my high D string is now sharp. It's got to go down a little bit. My B string is sharp, so I have to bring it down a little bit. Because just changing the tension on this string changed the tension on the neck. It let it pull back a little bit. So that tightened up the other strings. So, anyway, that's enough of that demonstration, I think. But, now I'm in drop D. What can I play? Let's go back to Surrealistic Pillow. Not how it goes, as you probably know, but I was getting bored with it. No, I wasn't. I do have a student working on that right now, so it's kind of fun to be messing around with that. Back to my capo story. So a lot of it depends on the capo and how you've got it adjusted. So the important thing here is if I want to put this at the 3rd fret, if I clamp that down there, I feel like, oh, that was a little tight. That's going to make all those notes sharp. So I'm going to loosen it up a little bit so it doesn't put any more pressure on. There we go. So the point here is, I think it's a lot of little points. Going into an open tuning, get everything close first, then fine tune them, because you got to get the tension on the neck. You got to wait for it to kind of adjust. Then when you put the capo on, you got to retune it again, especially depending on the type of capo you have. If you've got one of those Kaisers that could act as like a tourniquet, those push the strings down really hard. I use these shoves because because they're easy to adjust the tension, and I can always tell, like if I went further up the neck right here with it, I can feel that, oh man, I can't, if I put this down there, that bass note is going to be really sharp. I don't know if you can hear that. But if I loosen up the tension back here, it's in much better in tune. So that's why I like shub capos. But there are other great ones out there. So the lesson, the capo lesson, open tuning. One step at a time, get everything close, then fine tune it, put the capo on, and fine tune it again. And then if you take it off, you're going to have to fine tune it again. And if you're going to move it, do it again. Let's see. I think that was all the stuff I wanted to talk about with that. Yeah. I do have one other important thing that is coming up. This is now just for COA members. So our COA program does have a cool perk of it is that once a month we have a webinar that everybody's invited to. Now if we had 100 people at these, it'd be a little tough, but there might be 10 or 15. And it's a time to spend an hour, or maybe even two, just individually with the rest of the group and me, and kind of working on giving everybody a little specific direction in what we call the Pathways program. So you get a little bit more guidance, because what I do at all of these is see what everybody is playing. Everybody gets like a few minutes, to show me what they're working on, and then get some. It's a mini lesson. That's what happens. Everybody gets a mini lesson and a plan, or kind of a plan of, oh, you can do this and this and this, but you can't do this. Now you need to go learn my hey hey, or now you need to go work on Dust in the Wind, or now you go, got to work on something like Embryonic Journey. You're getting really good at finger picking, and let's try something challenging. So anyhow, so COA members, make sure to keep an eye on the COA forum. That is coming up on July 24th, Saturday the 24th. So I think that's all. Let's see, I just played Embryonic Journey. Should I play something else? Okay, so the two new songs, I only got to two new songs this week. Of course, Punky's Dilemma and Somebody to Love. I just got a message from Bob that he's still working hard on his Chicago tune. There've been a few setbacks there. And so, and I also hope some people have checked out Doug's lesson on metronomes, because I found that had a lot of really useful info in there. So, I can't even do that. I'll save that one for later. Have been listening to a lot of ragtime lately, though. It's been pretty fun. Okay, so probably nothing else new next week. We will be traveling through Fire Country and Flag Country. There's flags all over the place. But Shotgun Territory. Did we do? Oh yeah, we do have that lesson. Shotgun Down the Avalanche. Another song I've always liked. Appreciate that from Vanessa. Hope Vanessa is back on board soon. I know she's got a lot of cool songs on her list of things to do, so we may see something from her, but probably not till August or closer to September. So, okay, what was the other song that I had that Bob was working on? I do this one all the time. Let me. He was asking me about. Oh, it wasn't Bob. Sorry, it was Ed. He's saying, when you play a song like Anji, you play it the same way every time. I said, no, Angie's a jamming tune. It's like just, and what I wanted him to work on in this was really focusing on this bass thing, hitting the same bass note twice in a row. And this is very difficult for most people, especially if you've got a lot of experience doing this. We need to hear this. Okay, there you go. That's it for halfway through July. We should be back home. I will get to the news, I think, next Friday, but may not have a lot of. I'll just tell you about my trip and what it was like seeing the long lost family and old friends. I'm actually stopping to see some guitar students who were students of mine 40 years ago. Yep, looking forward to it. Okay, I'll be in Southern Oregon and Northern Oregon and and hanging out with friends and family. Hope everybody has a good week.